Hey everybody, welcome to the New Left. It's me Z, and we got ADC to my right over here. And tonight we're going to be going over John Bolton and how he's admitted to starting coups in foreign countries. We're going to be talking about Joe Biden and how he has admitted that he is a full-blown Zionist, no matter his ethnic background. And also, we're going to be talking about Joe Biden and the breaking news of him and the Iran deal, and him talking about the fact that he'll be using force as a last resort if Iran does not comply with the deal. So, ADC, what's going on?
Not much. We're just ready to run. Glitch there. No worries.
All right, yeah, there's a little glitch there. I had too many. I think it was the fact that I had.
No worries. It's technology is lovely. Yeah. No, it's.
Well, first we're going to start with the John Bolton story. So John Bolton was having an interview. I'm not sure what was he on? What show was he on?
He was on. He was with on CNN.
I'm going to get you to play that.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Yeah, but he was on CNN and he made the comment that he's been involved in that when asked about the January 6th committee and everything about Trump and about him starting a coup, he said that Trump was too silly to be able to start a coup. And we're going to play a video that just goes over that real fast. It's actually very telling. And we're going to go over a response that happened as well. Was that Jake Tapper?
Is it coming up?
Let's see.
It's Nicolas Maduro claiming a recent election was illegitimate.
Got to restart it.
Admirals and other supporters within the Maduro administration.
But Venezuela's military stuck with Maduro, who remained in power. Pressed on Tuesday by CNN anchor Jake Tapper to elaborate, Bolton said he would not get into specifics and did not mention Venezuela, but said, quote, "It turned out not to be successful." Many foreign policy experts have over the years criticized Washington's history of interventions in foreign countries, but it is highly unusual for U.S. officials to openly acknowledge their role in stoking unrest in foreign countries.
Wow.
Yeah, so Jake Tapper, he pretty much pressed him on the fact that, what about Venezuela? And as we can see, Venezuela had a bunch of sanctions put on them, and then they had they had blockades coming in the country, like blocking bridges, pathways into the country. Just a huge human rights violation on Venezuela, just because they were nationalizing their oil, and it worked. About a year, we see a couple years later, after Venezuela is actually doing really well right now, but John Bolton said that it was not very successful. But then another John came in, so we have two Johns now, and we got this guy named John Sipher, and he's he apparently was in the CIA, and he says that John Bolton is full of shit and that he's never planned a coup. So he's just calling him out on that, and I'm not sure. Was there a follow up to that?
Yeah, there was a few follow-ups there. He had so right during the day, one of the independent media people questioned Sipher, going, "Okay, is this like? What do you think about this?" And he's full of shit. He doesn't know what he's never planned a coup. I've planned coups, and I'm going, okay, like, so you're basically admitting you like what our friends that have been talking about it. The most censored comedian in America and his partner that we've had on the PBN many times, that we're talking about that these coups have happened for years, and now they've denied it, and we've had more CIA, former CIA ops come out in the media and say, "Oh no, yeah, we've done coups from here, there." I mean, Lee Camp is the person that I didn't mention his name, but Lee was, hey, great to see the Noli family tuning in. But yeah, Lee was the one who brought to my attention there of these coups, and he went and did a whole list on one of his shows of from coup to coup to coup of what the U.S. imperialist system was trying to do
since the early 40s, like as soon as we exited World War II, we just started like going over, bombing everything, and
and we'll talk about it too when we get into the second story on Biden. But one of those countries that they've tried to coup multiple times, tried to put in a puppet leader, is one of those countries. But I digress here. So yeah, so Sipher upset, still going off a day later about taking credit towards the work towards imperialism. He even got into a Twitter battle with Alon Omar of the Swat. So
you want to share that?
Yeah, we'll see if we can get this thing to work here.
It's
apologies, really... technology is just beating my ass today. So
yeah, I understand. I have that same issue. Sometimes I have to get on the computer and then have it like prime up, work, like open some tabs, like just rev it up like an old ass car. My computer's not even that old.
No, and mine's brand new. Thank God for my mother, because the one that when I started on the PBN, it was all crapping out, and it finally did crap out. Now I've got a gaming system that actually does the role, so that should be popping up.
Cool.
There, and yeah, this was Omar. Settle down. This is not erasure of your work. And then he's like, "Ma'am, I'd be glad to meet and explain how U.S. national security works and outline your role. Or you could simply speak to your colleagues on oversight to seek the truth. I suspect, though, that you prefer to spread misinformation to help cynically help your political career. Sad." I'm going, so not only are you admitting that you are doing coups, that
Bro's a war criminal, he's just like,
and we know that Bolton is a piece of garbage. Like, we've known that. I mean, the guy is famous for being the biggest idiot who wrote a book after being in the Trump cabinet, and every time he's on TV, I like look at my wife and I'm going, this guy's a moron. Like, how the hell is this guy even? Why do they keep bringing him up? But hey, CNN knows where their viewers are, and if you bring this guy on, he's dumb enough to say that he started coups, and then you get actual CIA ops that come out on Twitter going, "No, he didn't do it. We did it." I'm going, so you're all telling me that, like you said, you could all be charged with war crimes. But
you have to just imagine that at some point Mike Pompeo is just going to jump in because he's going to get jealous, and he because they're taking all his credit now, and just like so many war hawks just like fighting over who started a war or who overthrew a government.
And I'm surprised we haven't heard from the Queen of the North there, the former vice president candidate there under McCain, when she's talking about, oh yes, well, John McCain was a war, like, yeah, I don't understand. I mean, I know that some of our American viewers, I mean, most of them will understand this. The U.S. has not won a war in the entire history of the United States. Just giving you that. Doesn't matter how many coups you guys have tried. Yes, you've murdered millions upon millions of innocent people, but you haven't won anything. And the proof is in the pudding, as we're currently seeing what's going on in the Ukraine, where you've got old Zelensky talking about whining he needs more money. And but Biden doesn't have time for that because he's got to go to our good friends at Israel.
Exactly, which we will be talking about. I think that's a good segue. So, Biden, actually, there's a video I want to share first that is actually very, and I think I should be able to play this video. Let's see. And by the way, hey, Noli, like us. I want to know you're already subscribed, but like the video so we can get those algorithm gods a praise and get them to show some love. But as ABC was saying, Biden was in Israel. I don't know if he's in Israel right now. I think he's making a tour in the Middle East period right now. I think Iran was his last stop, which we're also going to be talking about. But the whole thing has been terrible. So our guy here was in Israel, and he was like, "I'm a proud Zionist, man." You know how he goes. He says, "I'm a proud." You need not be Jewish to be a proud Zionist. Well, that's just alarming on a lot of levels, in my opinion. But he goes on to. He also has a speech, and Mint Press did a very good job at highlighting the speech, especially when we just saw Shireen Abu Akleh being executed by the IDF a couple of weeks ago, and the U.S. is completely, after the investigation, has completely whitewashed her whole the whole incident. And we're gonna play this because I think it shows the dichotomy of what's going on in that area right now.
It's an honor to once again stand with friends and visit the independent Jewish state of Israel. My first visit was, as you mentioned, as a young United States Senator from Delaware in 1973, just a few weeks before the Yom Kippur War. I look back on it all now, and I realize that I had the great honor of living part of the great history of this great. And I did say, and I say again, you need not be a Jew to be a Zionist. From here, I'm going straight to a briefing on Israeli missiles and rocket defense capabilities, including the U.S. support for the Iron Dome. May Israel and the United States continue to grow and prosper together for the benefit of the entire world. And I mean that, for the benefit of the entire world.
And we need to be clear about that. Like, he literally is not the only person who does that. They won't say apartheid. They'll go over there. You have tons of celebrities that do that. They bring them over for free and they curry favor with them. And they make them feel like it's the best place they've ever been in the world. And then they come back home, they're like, Israel, while the Palestinians are being bombed and terrorized on a daily basis. And it is completely disgusting. Another video I want to share real fast is, you're familiar with the comedian Bobby Lee?
Yes.
Well, he was on a podcast. I don't know how long ago it was, but he did end up he went to Israel. But what ended up happening is that he didn't know what was going on. He didn't want to. He regretted going, and he talks about this on this podcast, and it's like a 56-second clip. I want everybody to see that because I thought that was a really important clip as well. Okay.
Israeli government is flying out like celebrities for free out there to do a tour for free. And it's on the house. They fly you first class, the whole thing. And I go, it's free? They go, yeah, it's not free. Because when you land there, they go, you have to every day tweet positive.
I'm gonna rewind it just a little bit so it catches up with the.
And I go, it's free? They go, yeah, it's not free. Because when you land there, they go, you have to every day tweet positive things about Israel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I just felt so uneasy about it. I don't know much about it. I just know that they're in conflict. But I did what they said. It was just basically, Palestinians, Israel's a beautiful country.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's true.
It is true, but then it's like I had to tag the government in it or whatever.
Oh, that's crazy. The Israeli government?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That's weird as shit.
Hanging with the
it was
IDF.
just like
Well,
every day it was just nonstop.
You were cucking for the Israeli government.
Yeah, but I wish I hadn't gone really.
That was just that wasn't, I don't remember that being in a spotlight anywhere. That was a really good conversation because a lot of people won't admit that shit. The fact that they're just out there getting paid to get pretty much being lambasted. Tweet with the government, me and the Israeli government, and it's fucking Mark. Well, not I was going to say Mark Ruffalo, but no, he does not. He's actually okay. He on that situation, he talked about the Palestinian government, how Palestinians are being brutalized every day. To our viewers who just came in, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. But ADC, what do you have to say about those that clip? Well, first yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. First of all, Bobby Lee. So if he looks familiar, he was on the show with Key from Key and Peele. And Gronk was on there, and Venus Williams was Game On, I think it was, where it was celebrities with were playing in different things, and he acted like just such a moron. He was just this whole the old school Asian comedian character. But yeah, he's brilliant. When you get to hear him not in character, he's brilliant. And it doesn't surprise me. I mean, it surprised me that he was put into that situation. But I mean, very similar to anyone who went into North Korea or any of those, the Bob Hope. I mean, let's age myself here. Any of those ones that went into the military aspects. I mean, we'll bring the age back a little bit. So the tribute to the troops, Vince McMahon, WWE, had all this stuff where they would go to Baghdad, they would go to these military sites, and it was all pro military, all pro rah 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 US, all pro whatever, and they hid all the crap that was going on. We know because of WikiLeaks and because of Assange that when they were there, some of those times, that's when some of those citizens were being killed. So not blaming Vince McMahon, he can be blamed for other things. We'll get into that at some other time. Just look it up, kids. But the aspect, though, is it does not surprise me that a government is trying to dictate how they are perceived in social media and how they're perceived because basically social media around the world is becoming your mainstream media.
Exactly.
And so them telling them, well, this is how you have to tweet, this is how you have to post, it doesn't surprise me.
What I wanted to piggyback on that, what you're saying, because it actually really shows the hollowness of celebrity culture and how they are really just used as tools for to maintain status quo. And the fact that especially our celebrities, our celebrity culture, our Hollywood culture, the way you just bring a fucking Hollywood actor over to Israel and no war crimes, gone. It's actually quite interesting the way, and that we do that here too. I mean, we do that with but we're over here where we also have the fund for all the movies. So we're making movies that are that just propagandize us left and right about what's going on everywhere. About we'll make a movie about a war we lost and make it seem like we kicked ass or something when we really got our ass kicked, and it's just yep, this is not history. This is revisionism.
And anything that has to do with military or any sort of government aspect in a movie has have to have the input of the actual military machine. So if you, just a little bit of an aside there, that Iron Man, if you weren't aware, the original Iron Man, when it was written, it was supposed to be an anti-war movie where the Iron Man fought the U.S. government because the U.S. government was going over the top with the war. Shocking that people would think that.
I think it's funny that I think it's funny you point out the Marvel universe, because the Marvel universe has just become one big commercial for the military industrial complex. Like it really has. And you can see there's so much like rewrites you can tell that's in the Marvel movies, because most of those characters in the comic books in the first place are anti-imperialist characters, and a lot of them do try to like mitigate like but the way we see it in this, like even like, for example, Black Panther is like literally like lives in Wakanda, the only advanced black nation in Africa. But then for some reason the CIA, he works with after the CIA is destroyed every country in Africa in real life, like the CIA like wrote that they like were like buddy hand in hand with the fucking African nation and like helping it liberate itself. When actually, if you look at the movie, Warmonger, even though he is like corrupted and like a kind of an ass, he actually is the one who is like radical and the one who's kind of like the one who knows what he's talking about. So, just
on an aside there, I'm actually shocked that when C-19 vaccines were huge, they didn't take the Winter Soldier or any of the clips from Captain America when he was being injected and going, hey, this is like having a COVID vaccine.
You know what's funny? I didn't even like, it is shocking that there was no that kind of like advertisement for that, because that unfortunately that would have got a lot of people immediately.
Yeah, no, and it's a good thing with the aspects of that. The other aside there is, if we want to go back into the before the Marvel the universe. I mean, Marvel universe has always been there, of course, because of the comic books. But before it became movie mainstream, go into the Superman series with Christopher Reeve, and you go to Superman 3 with Richard Pryor as the main antagonist. The guy who was the evil guy, whatever, was using drones and got Richard Pryor to use this computer software to change the world's weather and destroy the coffee crops in the global south so he can own the coffee industry, and made sure the biggest scene was that Superman went and exploded a tankard and put oil into the ocean. And so there was all the oil tankers were being directed right to this one tanker. So they're all in the middle of the ocean. No one could get gas. So when you go into Metropolis, it's just chaos.
I wish I had a moment to go find that clip and mute it on YouTube real fast and watch it.
It's we were watching it because here in Canada we have a couple of the stations that play like the 80s and 90s. So my daughter had never seen Superman movies. I mean, I grew up. I went to them in the theater, so that's how old I am. But that was the thing. So all this stuff in the 1980s, early 80s even, that they were seeing this disastrous stuff like the Elon Musk type person, and that's what this guy was.
I mean, even the one of the villains in Richie Rich, that guy is based on Trump.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it's people have been trying to warn people for a long ass time. It's just reaching its culmination, and everyone's starting to notice. But that was awesome. We're gonna have to come back to those kind of conversations. But Iran is the next stop we're going to on this Middle Eastern tour of disaster. And so after admitting that he's a proud, avowed war criminal, Biden has traveled to Iran to only face failed talks. But after these failed talks, he has some words for the Iranian people in Tehran.
Committed to keep the RGC on the foreign terrorist organization list, even if that means that kills the deal?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You, in the past, said you'll do anything, and you say it again, that you'll ensure Iran would not acquire nuclear weapons. Does that also mean, sir, that you would use force against Iran? Is that what that means? If needed?
That was the last resort, yes.
Mm-hmm. And would you work in Israel with that kind of thing? Have you received any assurances from
I'm
Israel?
not going to speculate on that,
No.
but Iran cannot get a nuclear weapon.
Are you committed to keep the RGC on the foreign terrorist organization list, even if that means that kills the deal?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You, in the past...
Yeah, but as we can see, Biden is not, he's not slowing down. And I think that it's funny because Trump got us out of the deal. And then Biden was like campaigning on the fact that he would bring us back in the deal. And then when he gets back in, he's just as much as an asshole as Trump was about it. Like, he's just like, nah, we're not going to let you, until you sign this paper that we left out of, you need to come back on our terms. Like, he's just the most.
He's despicable. And this is what I'm trying to get people to understand, especially here in Alberta, Canada. We have a horrible waste of space of a human being. I guess human being's too nice of a word. Anyway, our leader is like basically committed democide by lifting restrictions and having people die in poverty here. But we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to open up to Calgary Stampede and kill more horses. Yes, that's what we love here. Anyway, point being is the fact that we have an opposition leader who's very similar look to the former, I don't know, Bill, like Hillary. And what people have to understand is I'm not telling you that the GOP or the Republicans, Retrumplicans, whatever you want to call them, are good people, because they're not. They're horrible. They're horrible fucking people. But they don't lie. If they lie to fill their pockets. They're not lying to the people in regards to what they're going to do. They're going to tell you, we're going to take away all rights. They're going to take away your abortion rights. They're going to take away your right to live. They're going to take away equal rights for everyone.
And if someone's been saying that for 50 years, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then the people who said that they would be like, nah, we're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let that happen. They've been saying that for 50 years. So who's worse? The people who were like outright about it, or the people who have just been like, we're not going to let that happen, and they're just like chilling, filling their pockets up too.
And that's the thing. Like talking with my wife is not as radical as I am, which is probably good, because probably would be in a different state if we were both on the edge. But the point was, she goes, oh my God, everything I'm seeing about the history of Biden is true. I'm going, yes, I told you, he's a horrible, horrible human being. Once I learned more and more and went back to the stuff that he did in the past and going, hey, who put more black people in prison than anyone else other than Obama? But it was Biden. Biden was the one who pushed the Prison Act. Who's the one who wanted to continue the war on drugs and make sure that the black and brown communities were incarcerated higher than any whites? Biden
went in and convinced Reagan that it was like he needed to make it tougher. Like he convinced that it needed to be tougher, a tougher bill.
Who made Anita Hill look horrible? Like, just decimated
so Clarence
her.
Thomas could get it. So Clarence
Thomas and his pubic-haired cola can and long dong silver talk could get into the Supreme Court. So this is what this piece of garbage has done. And what people have to understand is the fact that it's all the machine. It's these people that pretend that they're nice. You know what? I don't pretend I'm nice. I will show that I'm nice, so show I'm caring. But when you see me and me being intense and aggressive, fucking right, I'm intense and aggressive because I'm fighting for people that don't have a voice. I'm fighting for the people that are living in poverty or are struggling. Because if someone doesn't fight for them and they fall for this bullshit of, oh yeah, we won't let this happen. Well, you've let it happen. You could have codified the Roe v. Wade for how many years, and you did nothing. You did nothing to do anything that would actually save the supposed rights and freedoms that every American has.
Exactly. It's disgusting, and I mean, if that's why Democrats are getting reaping what they sowed, and unfortunately, we're gonna pay. Like, people are gonna pay. The people are gonna pay for it. So we just have to, in my opinion, I guess. Well, not I guess. We definitely have to be organizing and like not be relying on the Democrats and Republicans. And just like you said,
the progressive in the Democratic Party.
Exactly, and the Democratic Party is just, to me, it is a bit worse because it tries to act like it's a good guy, and there's no good. And if they're both cops, there's no good cop.
It's like everyone wants to wear the white hat. Well, the white hat for the Q Trumplicans is a bloody white hood. The white hat that they're wearing is a spray painted black hat, because there's no way in hell you can tell me that all the kickbacks that Pelosi and Schumer have gotten to maintain the power that they have in the House is honest. Nothing, they didn't come about this through honesty. It wasn't honest and hard work and pull up your bootstraps. It was exploitation of labor, exploitation of the system, and they'll continue to do that if you think this whole thing of it's ride or die, vote. This election is the most important in history. I've got a design coming out that will show that, where it's the same plan, the different cast, but the same. It's the same scam. So what they're doing here, don't give them any money. Please, if there's anything you learn from tonight's episode, don't give the Dems any more money. When they text you and they message you and say, oh, we need this, we need that, because November we're going to have to win, fuck them. They don't give them any money. See what they can do with only the corporate backing.
In fact, you should be donating to independent media like ourselves. Our Patreons, going to our Twitches, our Twitter, giving a follow, or giving this video a like, so we can give a like to the algorithm god, so we can see where you get from here. But yeah, the next thing we want to move on to, what's going on with that? I'm a resident American, and you're a resident Canadian. You want to tell me about the electrical issues that's going on?
The electrical issues.
I think it was the outage for Rogers Communications.
Okay. That was the
telecom. I thought it was
telecom. Yeah.
He said a wide outage when I was skimming over it, and it made me. I thought that it was about. So that's my fault.
No, that's okay. So it actually was like I jokingly put it out, but I was actually quite serious. So our guest who talked about revolution and talked about general strike revolution, I actually retweeted their tweet saying, hey, with the Rogers outage now, it'd be a good time to take a general strike here in Canada, especially. So Rogers Communications has the monopoly. Well, there's 3 telecoms in Canada that own the monopoly of. So where you guys have multiple choices between Verizon, yes, one faceless corporation buys them all and gives you an opportunity. We have like 3 companies, and there's one that is Rogers Communications. So we thought, okay, well, Rogers outage, cell phones, okay, that in major centers that might affect it. What we didn't realize, and what we did realize very quickly, is the fact that outage actually affected every Interact system in Canada. So no one could use their debit card to buy anything in the grocery stores or whatever. Thankfully, they could still use it at certain bank machines, but you can still pay with credit card. So any major sporting event or anything like that, we had their stadiums messaging out to the general public going, if you're coming to tonight's game of the 30,000 people, remember to bring cash, because we don't have our debit machines are all down due to this outage. So there's a little bit of So it was serious. It was absolutely, basically, could have decimated the Canadian economy like that. People don't understand that I've always told people you need $100 cash minimum on your person at all times, because you never know when you're going to hit an emergency where the power is out or you can't get access to the money that the banks are using to make more money. I mean, it's your money, but they hold it for you. So when these outages come out, you can't get it. You can't go to the bank. You can't, there's no access to money. So people are going, like, it's a first world problem, of course, because it's not like you're starving or anything. Most people have the money in the accounts or whatever. But then you've got, if you don't have a credit card, if you've got bad credit, this is that whole the war on poverty, or against the people in poverty, or the war on the poor, class war. We talk about this as class war. Absolutely. So if I'm rich and I've got 3 credit cards, including a platinum MasterCard, it's going to work at whatever machine and whatever I'll be able to purchase. If I only have a debit card, I can't buy anything today. So I have to figure out a way. I either have to have a good person who I can give money to use their credit card, or I have to go and find a bank machine to get money out to go and make my purchase. Thing is, in the lower income centers, in the urban centers, bank machines are not, there's not a bank machine on every corner. A lot of bank machines, especially in the rural areas, they're like 1 or 2 inside the little town. So if you live in a rural area, you live out of town, you don't have access to whatever, what the hell do you do? So basically, so I'm telling people, okay, this is the time to strike because we don't have this option. Well,
gas is high, can't use our fucking card. Yeah, like, it's just like.
And then we just had the Bank of Canada put up the interest rate to 2.5%. So when they said that they were going to hold it 2 years ago, they were going to hold this rate to make sure that people wouldn't be struggling. They're liars, just like the politicians. Anyway, the best part about this was there is some joy. Well, it's not really joy. There's a little bit of humor that we can bring into this, and so we'll share the story here. So with this Rogers outage, causes nearly 20% drop in nationwide Pornhub traffic. So people that aren't aware of Pornhub is one of the world's largest adult sites. It's actually based in Canada. It's based in Montreal, Quebec. Yes, they've had some issues in regards to some of the content they've had. I believe it's been cleaned up. But anyway, we're going to ignore that sort of aspect just to go into the statistics here. So, world's largest adult entertainment site reports after this Canada-wide Roger outage that their web traffic began to drop. Website typically receives over 150 million daily visitors, but hourly traffic out of Canada was down 19%. And this is the kicker. So they actually, I give GH News, they went and did a whole graph on this from the time. So if you look at when the outage hit, and
That's
it's
great.
like, yeah, it's perfect. So Ontario, which is the largest province in the country, dropped as low as 38% that day.
Oh my God.
Manitoba had the biggest drop in traffic, down 65% in the morning. Now, the kicker about Manitoba is a very religious, very conservative province. So, yeah, the people that are getting freaky with it, that can't get freaky with it in the church, and they do it all behind the scenes, that's why they go to places like Pornhub to do that. And that number actually doesn't surprise me, because it's a very large Mennonite community, and the Mennonites are very conservative in their belief in not just premarital sex, but sex in general. New Brunswick saw the most immediate drop in traffic, down 49% at 6 a.m. that day. So I would like to know what most people do in New Brunswick it's like bacon and boobs or something, because if you're going 69% drop at 6 or 49% drop at 6 a.m., that's
so early.
That is very early. I mean, for when it's 6 a.m. there, it's 4 a.m. here in Alberta. So, and then Quebec's traffic dropped as low as 21%. And there's the context: is Pornhub's 7th biggest source of traffic outside the U.S., UK, Japan, France, Italy, and Mexico is Canada.
What do you think about Where Pilgrim's statement right here?
Oh, absolutely. So Shaw and Where, I can tell you exactly, or you and I have the exact same concerns, because I have Shaw as well. So the Shaw aspect is the merge, and I think that this might stop the merge, because they can't, in any good conscience, all political parties actually came out against the monopolies and talking about that they need to regulate the monopolies more, which when you have rich politicians saying this is actually a serious aspect. But like I was saying, with the lack of choice that we have for internet and for mobile, we have one of the highest costs for our internet and our mobile in the Western world. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know what you pay, Z, for your internet packages. I'm sure it's something decent. I'm not saying you've got decent coverage, because the coverage is crap across the board, but dollar for dollar, you're probably paying a third of what we're paying here in Canada.
That's actually pretty insane. I know that so it's for telecom. So I know we have Spectrum, and I'm pretty sure the package for Spectrum is supposedly $200 a month for the whole package.
And is that for your mobile as well as?
No.
Okay.
But they have a lot of different packages, so I know that at some point that AT&T is doing fiber, and I know we might switch to that, because then we'll be on the whole, like, that'll be our whole thing, because they'll have everything. But yeah, it's all still pretty. I mean, there's still only like 2 companies, but you know.
Well, and we'll go, because I'm looking at the clock, and we're getting to that part there. So I'm just going to open up or share another here. This was the other one that flashed up, and not going. We're going to stay off the serious. We did enough serious with the Biden thing. So I'm just going to share again. Sorry, we've got gonna love to have 14 windows open here, and it is the fact that anyone with Netflix, this one will affect you. So Netflix to partner with Microsoft on a new ad-supported subscription plan. So they already were talking about adding ads to their Netflix subscriptions. I don't know about you, but I'm paying through the nose for a subscription for Netflix. They are they're awful. They're I mean, content, yeah, it's good.
It's way too much content though.
Yeah, and you don't watch enough. I'll say that I tend to watch the evil overlord Bezos's Prime more than I watch Netflix myself. But my wife likes Netflix and their programming.
Hulu kind of guy.
See, we don't have Hulu. We have to do the old VPN trick to have Hulu here in Canada. So
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like that and Apple TV, you can get it, but it costs a fortune. And yeah, it's not as good as what you guys have. Even Netflix isn't as good as what you guys have. So this is the whole thing of going into Netflix going to Microsoft, because they've got a proven ability to support all their advertising needs, work together to build new ad-supported offerings, and early days, much to work through. So my question is by the end of this year, I'm guessing probably closer to fall, that Netflix will start to have a ad-based subscription service. I don't know yet if it's going to be the full subscription service or they're going to, what you currently have will be raised in price again. And so you don't have the ads. But for the ones that have the price now, I don't know what it is in the States, but right now I'm paying, I think, $18.99 Canadian a month for my Netflix, and that's up to 3 users. So yeah, when I first signed on, again, I'll age myself. We had the DVD app that we had to plug in. I actually had it for the Nintendo Wii originally when I got Netflix.
That. It was on the Wii.
So we thought, hey, that was cool or whatever. But yeah, it was just after they stopped doing the DVD. So we went to Netflix, and it was $9.99, and then it went up to $11.99, and then it went up to $12.99, and like I said, now it's $18.99, and it's an automatic charge on my account, so I have to actually go and look.
It doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't even make any sense. They just keep raising it on purpose, and they're like,
yeah. And when they were first putting out their original content, I was okay with that. Like when before Spacey's disgusting life was brought to the forefront, and House of Cards was a brilliantly, disgustingly made show. That was when we were watching, and then it was Last Chance U, and those sort of things that I really got into, whatever. And then they got into with Scorsese with The Irishman, and then they did a few other things, and then it just went downhill in regards to their original content. They were starting to bring some stuff, which is great that it's more ethnically diverse, but I mean, there's only so much Zumbo's dessert challenge that I can sit and watch. I love watching Zumbo. I mean, brilliant. I would never be able to do any of that stuff because my baking skills are like open the box, add the milk, add the eggs, use your electric mixer, pour it in the pan, and put it in the oven. It's got nothing to do with real baking. I can cook, but baking is not my thing. But just those things. We watched Nailed It. Some of those stuff is still good, but for the most part, it's a lot of direct, and they lost with the addition of NBC's with the Cock, with Peacock, and with the other things. They lost the licensing for a lot of their main programs, like The Office, like Friends, and all those things. In Canada, we have a thing called Crave, which is attached to the Shaw, which you do get some of those programs, but now they're starting to add ads into the program. You can't skip those ads if it's on demand. Now that they're not letting you fast forward the ads, even when you've got those show recorded. So it's like they've got you by the short and curlies every time you turn around when it comes to advertising. When these PBRs were first designed, it was supposed to get rid of the advertising. You got advertising boxes around your program. It's all just, it's all capitalism. We could just, every show we could end with going, because capitalism, and that would basically give reason for everything we're talking about. And yeah, it's just absolutely repulsive on what these companies are doing, and we all know that it's to directly attack the people that are living in poverty, because the rich people, either they aren't watching Netflix, they steal it from their parents, or they borrow it. I mean, who are the biggest offenders of stealing and sharing all these subscription sites? It's the wealthy, because they don't want to pay any money. Yeah, it's the people in poverty that this is their night out. They don't go out for dinners or movies or whatever. I don't do that very much myself, but that's your entertainment, and it just keeps going up and up and up, and you're pricing people out of the market, and it's just, well, what's left? And the only thing left is to fight for the universal internet, basic internet for all, and make sure we have high-speed internet across the Western nations. So because it is a necessity now, it's not just luxury. When you're sitting here and you can't go into a business to apply for a job because you have to apply online, and you need to have the you need to have the internet to actually apply, or to do a Zoom interview, or do any of that. Yeah, without high speed or that, we're you're basically at the mercy of capitalism, and you can't get out of capitalism unless you can get a job. Can't get a job unless you have money to pay for your internet. So,
and unless you're wealthy, you're not a capitalist. You were just a capital. So,
and then you end up becoming poor and houseless, and then we go into mutual aid, and it's just a vicious cycle. And yes, eat the rich with Alabama white sauce, as our comrade Austin would say.
Most definitely. And we'll definitely look into getting the Panquake guys on here for a little bit more coverage, and talk to them about what they're doing with their new social media app, because I've been interested in it for a while, and just waiting, because I know these things take time.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're still in the funding process.
They're in the final stages, though,
which is good. I know I'm signed up as one of the. I signed up early to be one of the beta testers, so I'll be able to share my experience and hopefully connect with that group to have them on one of our programs. That is something we must have, and any other of the competition or the I can't think right now, that isn't the overlords that we're on right now. So it isn't a Amazon owned Twitch, it isn't a Google monopoly owned YouTube. We're looking for other aspects to because once we start to get a little bigger, I know they're going to start coming after us hard. Yeah, we'll just have to be prepared. And we don't want to be like others where we're scrambling trying to find a home for the PBN. PBN's home is always going to be with the people, but we'll just make sure that we have our ducks in a row in multiple streaming video channels. So you'll always be able to find us at some point, even if it's just one of us with a megaphone on a street corner videoing with whatever internet we have. But yeah, so yeah, absolutely, we'll talk Panquake, we'll talk other things, and yes, if you have more requests,
and we'll definitely look at Red Hill, the Hawaiian. The Navy's poisoned the hell out of Hawaii's water supply, and it has so much fuel that's leaked into it. People can't drink water, and it's just a destructive thing, and just showing the callousness and how the U.S. is like the top. The U.S. military is the top polluter in the world. So we'll have to follow up on that.
100% U.S. Military is the #1 non-nation polluter in the world.
Exactly. But I mean, I think we're coming a little bit on time. And anything you want to say before we wrap it up?
So I will provide some good news here. We got word from Pixel through text that they are out. They are on the road to recovery. So that's a positive. I mean, it's going to be a long road. So still, if you can provide support, if you want to buy one of the shirts and those sort of things, that would be awesome. We also have the contest for the PBN. If you go to our Twitter, it's also in the description here, but best one is the link's right in the Twitter bio. Click on that, and you can enter the contest multiple times, and someone's going to win a prize pack, which includes one of the PBN coffee mugs and one of the shirts. I thought it was going to be the one in regards to terrorism, but might not be. Might be a new cool design by that time. But we'll make sure that we take care of. And a book from Z, and a logo design package from our soon to be your good new mama coming up, right? You guys like a month?
Well, again, yes, second. But yeah.
Well, yes, of course.
Yeah,
exactly. Your newest
addition to my family.
To your family. So yeah, so we'll have that, and there's other people. Like, we'll have a great package for you. You're gonna win it. All you got to do is put in your email address, your name, phone number, and then of course you're added to the newsletter site or newsletter list that we will have, that we can share when we have great guests like Matthew that you guys talked to on Overlook News. Those guests, we need more people to, if you haven't checked it out, check out the latest edition of Overlook News, because it was a fantastic interview. And we are the people that are starting the momentum, because after Z and Andrew talked to Matthew, mainstream media and bigger channels start talking about Matthew, and one of the bigger channels actually had him on today. So I will say right now that the PBN is the innovator of the offense against the imperialist system.
Hey, I was observing those things as well.
There you go. So do you have anything new coming out, or?
I'm editing a video. I'm almost done with it. It'll probably be out in the next week or two. Like, I am about 10. I have like about 5 more videos I have to clip and edit to it. It's just been a process, but it's been really cool, and I think that is very timely. I think that unfortunately, it's really timely. Which sucks. I hate when it's like, because it's like history is depressing sometimes, and it's like, so, and especially in this era, it's like, well, if it's timely, then is it a good thing? So it'll be out soon. It's on white violence. It's on white terror and white violence.
Yeah, that's a good and bad thing. Yes, we don't want to see it but we didn't want to see it when it actually happened originally. So this is a brilliant thing, and all the work that you do with Revolutionary Reader is brilliant. I'm looking forward to it. The viewers are looking forward to your next one, and love catching up with you. And yeah, that's from my side. If you want to shop baller gear, you can pick up stuff for Pixel. You can pick up stuff for the PBN. Pick up stuff for some of our athlete partners. It's all there. It's quality stuff. It's just in time merchandise, so we don't have a huge warehouse full of printed product that's going to go to the garbage. It is actually environmentally friendly in the printing process, as well as it doesn't get printed until you have ordered it. So yeah, you can purchase that stuff, and the funds will go to Pug Hugs for Pixel, to the PBN, to our athlete partners, and all sorts of other things, mutual aid. We're just trying to change the world one t-shirt or one coffee mug at a time.
All right. We'll see y'all next time.